All right, everybody. This is Austin at the Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. I'm having some microphone difficulties here, so you'll have to excuse the horrible sound quality on these next couple of videos. But it's not usually me talking that matters. It's usually the things that we're looking at, right? So here we are. This is a Kinkozan Meiji era Japanese ginger pot, I believe. He appears to be missing his lid. Let's investigate him a little bit, because he's kind of an interesting little piece. Obviously, he's gorgeous, but let's talk about that more in a second. He's missing his lid. Look at that. Now, a surefire way to tell is that this glaze is a much different color than this right here. I'm sure you see at least a color difference in the camera. It's also sort of a ring of dirt right there. He very obviously had a lid for most of his life. So if you see this pot and you see the lid that goes with him, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate to reunite that. Let me take a drink here. Okay. So, how do I know it's Kinkozan? How do I know it's Meiji era? How do I know that it's enamel decorated pottery? Well, let's do the enamel decorated part first, okay? Now, you see where it raises up and stuff? I think this has an enamel glaze. And I think the decorations have been created with enamel. Now, Kinkozan is a famous Japanese potter from the Meiji era. This is in their style. This is decorated with enamels like you would expect it to be. It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I got this for $20. Look at the fine detail there, where they scraped away the glaze to form those, I guess they'd be vines. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they're just branches or what have you, but if you look at those, and then you look at how they kind of come down every so often, well, they eliminate on the bottom of the pot and form a pretty special little bond with the foot there, you know? So that looks all pretty handsome going in there. Now obviously you can see a little hint of that signature there. Now, you're probably thinking, Austin, we know you don't read Japanese. And that's true. I try to be resourceful, so I first off started Googling this little thing. You know, $20. Why even waste your time researching it? Somebody would probably give me $20 back for it, right? I mean, sure, it's pretty enough. There's a little bit of staining right here. Other than that, I mean, there's no cracks or chips. There's a hole drilled in the bottom. Oh, goodness. Apparently I've never cleaned this out. It's been sitting in my cupboard, so I didn't put that puff in there. That's not my fault. Okay. I'm sorry if me blowing into that pot was a horrible noise for you. So yeah, I mean, for $20, what do you want? Well, you want a Meiji era Kinkozan ginger pot. I mean, it'd be neat to have the lid, but these are some sort of Buddhist designs. I'm not sure exactly what. Maybe like the Wheel of Dharma. I'm probably mixing up entire world cultures right now, and I sincerely apologize. One thing you can look for in hand-painted or decorated pottery is whether the shading is consistent. You actually want to look for stuff that isn't super consistently shaded. I mean, that's not to say some masterpieces weren't, like, you know, perfectly even colored on the entire deal, but in real life, a real person made this, and, you know, it's difficult to apply the same exact color, especially with enamel, that you would, you know, you're not going to do two coats like you do a house. You gotta get it right the first time. So, the bottom here. Wow, I flipped it over perfectly to the signature. Now, I went on Reddit and I asked someone to translate this for me, and I should have looked at their name before I started doing this video. But they told me it said Kinkozan, and I wasn't sure if maybe this little differently colored part of the signature was possibly anything, you know, other than Kinkozan. But what I did was, let me get him out of the way for just one moment. And I just showed you that signature. What I did was buy a $100 book about Japanese enamels, especially in the Meiji period. So, as you see here, right up at the top there. Oh, hold on. It's very glossy. That's how the whole book looks. It's actually a super nice book. I can't believe how good it is. I mean, for $100 too. Come on, Austin. The book's so good. I can't possibly be that good. So that is, that's how I absolutely verified that the piece was Kinkozan. But like I said, an enamel decorated piece of pottery from Japan. Definitely an Asian design. I mean, no question about that. And it's very well done. It's everything it should be. And I paid $20 for it. I'm sure some people would say that without the lid, it loses a lot of its value. And I'm sure that's true. But you know what? I bet somebody'd give me more than $20 for this. Because that's about the most beautiful blue glaze I've ever seen in my life. Just a little bit of crackle to it. I'm going to let the camera focus in. Give it a second. He's thinking about it. Maybe I'm shaking too much. What's the problem? I'm sure you can see something. Well, wow, that was weird. Okay. Apparently I just had to turn it upwards. But yeah, you see how some of the pieces are raised and lower and stuff. So yeah, it's just a really neat, nicely decorated piece. I think somebody was really good at this. I think somebody tried really hard and accomplished something as far as this pot goes. And then if we look at the bottom, you know, we can see how those vines illuminate. And I think that is a really neat look from the bottom. I really enjoy that. So yeah, a little bit of green enamel on the base. But I think that's just beautiful. Oh, he's upside down. There you are. That's what that looks like. I'm not sure what purpose the hole would have served, whether it was drilled later or what, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something about keeping ginger and it needs to breathe or something. Do they all have holes on the bottom? Good question, Austin. Maybe somebody will know out there in internet la la land. So yeah, enamel on pottery. It wouldn't have been the easiest thing in the world to do. Enamel wants to run off of stuff and, you know, be a liquid like it is. So all of this would have been fairly difficult. I mean, these little beads right here probably would have been the easiest, but, you know, if you think about, like, I really want to know the technology that went into enamels, because then they had to fire this at like 700 or 800 degrees to get the enamel to bond with the base material. And and that's why enamel on glass is so rare, because that's, you know, in addition to enamel being a tricky thing to work with, glass is then a tricky thing to work with. You can't use wires for it, which is the purpose of the wires in cloisonne. You know, if you're going to apply a large amount of enamel to a large surface area, you're going to need some little barricades, little cells, if you will, which you will, because that's what cloisonne means in French. Yeah, I just taught you all sorts of stuff, didn't I? It's alright if you already knew all this. I'm not going to hold knowledge against you, that's for certain. Well, hey everybody, this is Austin of the Best Antiques channel. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. The Best Antiques channel. This is the best I can afford antiques. Thanks a lot. I hope you guys have a good day.